The halfway point is crossed in this season, and the question is, can anyone catch Luke Krause? It's almost like if you have the last name Krause and you're Canadian, you're stupid fast and no one can catch you. He's got 4 wins in a row this season. It would have been 5, but he had issues in the opening round in Barcelona. He looks to tie the record with the most wins in a single season tonight in Iowa. This circuit, very different compared to the others, with the Joker cutting out half of the track. So we always have excitement here, and we expect tonight to be no different as we bring you lights to flag coverage of round 6 of the 2021C Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge, the DNF Auto Care Cornfield Classic from the Iowa Speedway in Newton, Iowa. It's Josh Mertz alongside me, Cody Erdmann, bringing you the call for Nitro Circus Twitch, powered by the Automotive Sports Network. We have Chad Irvine in the production truck. He'll be joining us throughout this show as well. And Cody, halfway through, we saw the shenanigans last week, but like I asked, can anybody catch Luke Krause?
Well, as we're looking here in practice times at the moment, Robbie Larill is actually, he just posted a lap time that's a 10th faster than Luke, and Matt Hartley is only like 300ths off of Luke. So tonight could be the night that we could have a different winner than the last 4 races we've had.
As we will take a look at the Drivers' Championship presented by Simracer Coin, the cryptocurrency made by Simracers for Simracers, and our 22 Simracers will race to own the winner's coin tonight. Also, our broadcast brought to you by our partners at Simracer Coin. Thank you to Miguel Gomez for all of your support. As we take a look at the Drivers' Championship, not sure if we have a graphic for it. It's okay if we don't. There's a couple graphic issues given the last-second nature that we had to throw this together. But Luke Krause, 156 points ahead of Josh Klog with 118, 38 points. That's a huge gap. Reason why is a race win is 30, and then you get 3 points for winning a heat race. So Luke Krause theoretically has a race in the bag over his teammate Josh Klog. Matt Hartley, 2020 champion, sits in third. Then it's Bodie Cryer and Magnus Ogenhaug, the top 5. As I will go through the Manufacturers' Championship powered by Majors Garage. We're not really missing anything. Subaru has had a clean sweep of the season so far. The Japanese manufacturer has 162 points, ahead of Volkswagen with 96 and Ford with 79. The Constructors' Championship by Ferris Shifters. Shift your way to the top, facebook.com/Ferris Shifters. Fiercely Forward, 38 points ahead of Drive SVR LLM, 219 versus 181. Then it's Ferris Shifters, Dirt Esport, and Sequential Sim Sport, the top 5 in that championship. The Sportsman Cup by KES Industries, Keep 'em Spinning Industries, adaptive controls for sim racing. If this was last week, I would have told you we had a tie for the Sportsman Cup, Parker Fleming and Andrew Howell, but given the issues with Sequential, 10 points is the gap that Fleming has to make up on Howell, but that championship has been great all season long. A couple other partners that help us bring the Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge to you: iDrive Sim Training, Drive Safe, Arrive Safe, iDriveSimTraining.com.au, and our presenting sponsor for today's race, DNF Auto Care, your friendly Landsboro mechanic, DNFAutoCare.com.au. As we finish up practice, you were right. It's a 10th and a half now from from Larill to Krause. Krause holding the red plate, championship leader. As we transition to qualifying, do you think Larill can hold this? We know how quick he is, but we saw it a couple weeks ago where he was stupid fast and it all fell apart.
I think he could, as I think we all saw here in our lovely NASA Discord. I think, what do we have? 30 Iowa practice sessions since the last one?
Oh, while you're talking, I'm going to count them. Yeah.
It was just insane. So I think he knows what happens and really wants some redemption coming this week. And he put in all the time and practice into it. So we're going to see if that practice pays off here in qualifying. Because one thing I've noticed a lot is getting the top qualifying spot, or at least the top qualifying spot in your heat, is a big difference.
15 sessions. 5 of which on October 3rd between 12:02 a.m. and 3:33 p.m. Remember how I told you that he practices at completely random times in the night? So Robbie Larill is certainly trying to get that speed and try and take the fight to Luke Krause. So we'll try and find our points leader here as he is starting his qualifying run. We look at Larill for just a minute here. And this track, very tricky. This first turn 1 and 2 complex, it's interesting. I don't know if he's going to get an off track or a 0x for that. But the dirt, I can't even really explain this track. It is like a Mickey Mouse track, except when you go through this final hairpin and get on the oval, you stretch your legs for just a minute, and then it's back down to second gear and twisting your way through the infield here at Iowa. And we will see in the final corner what Luke Kraus does. Some guys go completely to the wall. I know I do. But you want to avoid those walls, obviously enough. Very hard to get this jump right as we cross the line. 36.612 for our championship leader. Remember, he does have that red plate. He is 0.2 down on Robbie Larill. Larill, a 36.434, Cody.
Yeah, as we're having some good lap times in coming here yet. Again, Robbie running about the same lap time he did in practice. No real big jumps so far, so we'll have to keep an eye on this.
As you'll notice a couple, like I said in the open, a graphical issue given the last-minute nature, unfortunately, putting this together. Number 71, 10th place, that is Chris Wetz, the one and only original driver from this series, as Dylan Livengood is retired. Obviously, Cody and I have retired, so Wetz has the record of every single season, 24 of them. He has made one start. So the 71 with the blank name, that is Chris Wetz. And car number 51, no, it's not Dylan Livengood, as many of the fans would recognize. It is Ian Fisher, making his, I believe, second start in his career in the Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge. Luke Kraus ran a 36.459 for his second lap. I don't think he's going to run his third lap, so he is pipped by 2/100ths. Then it's Hartley, Schofield, and Klog. If I'm looking through here, there are 7 cars, I think, within the 36-second bracket. Interestingly, Wetz is in a Volkswagen today. I don't think I've ever seen him drive the Volkswagen, so car number 71, driving the Beetle, and hopefully, of course, getting something good out of that one. As I don't know how to count. It's actually, yeah, okay, I know how to count. Never mind. It's one of those days. We're looking, I believe this is Jason Hook. I could be horribly wrong. It is Howell in the 666, the Welshman. Currently sitting in the 11th spot. 3/4 of a second down on Robbie Larill. So it looks like everyone here, Cody, has finished up. We'll go through our format here before we start the heat races. So we will have 3 heat races, 6 laps apiece, Joker lap once, and the top 2 will transfer through to the feature race. Then we move on to the semifinals. 8 laps, 2 Jokers, 13 cars is the maximum of each race. Top 3 will advance. That'll give us 12 cars, 10 laps, and the NASA famous 2 Jokers. And be sure to join the conversation all evening long. Hashtag ASNTVUSA, hashtag NASA on Nitro. And we do apologize from previously having that tape delayed broadcast due to the technical issues of a couple weeks ago. Qualifying Larill, Kraus, and Hartley. I was going to say it'd be an easy win for Kraus, but you've brought up how Larill is super close. I don't know, this could go multiple ways.
And it seems like Hartley, too, he's not that far off to both of these drivers, so I think it's going to be them 3. Schofield threw down a good 670, so he's also possibly a dark horse here.
As we are looking to begin heat number 1 here in Iowa. The grid will be Robbie Larill, David Schofield, Daniel Aish, Kieran Forrest, Ray Kingsbury, Parker Fleming, Ian Fisher, Magnus Okenhaug. So this is going to be an interesting start. They start on the inside, so basically the back straightaway of the Legends Oval. And then they must have moved this, actually. I don't think we've raced. I think they started on the pit lane. Could be awfully wrong on that. And
yeah, normally we do start on the pit lane.
I was going to say, I couldn't be crazy. They normally start on the pit lane and it's a wider entry. So we will see here what's going to go on as we get ready for this heat race. Am I crazy though? No, we were on the pit lane before.
I feel like we were.
We were missing one car. I think it's Parker Fleming. No, Fleming's on track. Fisher's on track. We were missing Ray Kingsbury. And Magnus. So
I
it looks like
think,
Magnus just connected to the session.
yeah, I would say I think Ray may be waiting for Magnus. 'Cause I know Magnus was a very late entry coming in.
On track, there is the 25 at Kingsbury. As we await the Norwegian Magnus Okenhaug, runner-up in 2020A. We will see as he jumps on track. 8 cars, 6 laps, Joker once. And regardless if Cody and I are crazy or not, ooh, jump start from that Schofield. Green flag, Larill down to turn number 1. Contact, Aish is around and over. Around, it looks like that's Forrest in the 44. Larill will lead us. Beginning the first lap, Kingsbury in second. Okenhaug, Schofield, Fleming, Fisher. That's the running order. Through turns 1 and 2, they can take the Joker early on, of course. Joker's going to cut a decent amount of the track away. We have Ray Kingsbury and Magnus, so the Spark teammates in first and second. Robbie Larill, with all that practice, stays on track, the regular course. He is in third. So at the end of the first lap, Ray Kingsbury leads.
Yeah, I was hanging out with my sequential SimSport guys before we started the broadcast here, and I was told that the delta for the Joker is about 7 seconds. So we'll have to keep that in mind.
Looks like Schofield had his black flags cleared from race control. So I don't know where Schofield went. He let everyone by in turn 1. Looks like Magnus, I think Magnus ran it wide in the infield, lost a decent amount of time to his teammate. Exiting the Joker is Fisher in the 51, but Fisher was very slow in the Ford Fiesta. As we focus on Schofield in the 27, still leading, not missing anything up front as we begin lap 3. Ray Kingsbury, Okenhaug, Fisher. As we're going to keep an eye on that delta time, as Larill 8.3 behind Kingsbury. Jokering is Fisher. He already jokered once, and that's going to be a DQ for the 51.
Yeah,
So hopefully race control catches that one. We shall see. Otherwise,
I believe
might have
this
to
is
go.
his first race with Jokers, because I think last week was his first race, and we were on a truck track.
I might have to go let them know. If you want to handle that, give me just a minute.
I believe. As we got, so now it should be Ray. Ray's still leading with Schofield now in second. Magnus in third, which with him showing up late, he's been running really wide. As always, he about self-spun as Robbie Larill gets around him. Which he has not jokered yet.
I go into their chat and tell him to park, and he is not happy. So, unfortunately, it's a limitation of the software if you're watching the show. It's not a matter of me wanting to penalize you. So, Kingsbury still leads. Let's get reacclimated with the running order. As what happened, Kingsbury does not. He does, because Fisher's claim says Fisher leads, but because he parked. So we're going to wait a minute for this to all sort out. Kingsbury back to the race lead. Schofield is in second, battling Fleming now. So now...
Fleming actually was in second. Unfortunately, ran wide. Now he just clipped the Blue Turtles a little bit too much. He was in P2.
Forrest passes Okenhaug. Okenhaug over in the 26. And the Norwegian rolls it in the infield, and that was a cause. It wasn't an aggressive move by any means. It was a good move from Forrest, completely legal. But the problem is these curbs, and it's not the first time a Spark LLM car has gone to the moon. This time it is Magnus Okenhaug. So Larill has taken the lead. As he jokered on this last occasion. So Larill the race lead, Kingsbury in second. Third is Schofield, fourth is Fleming, fifth is Forrest, sixth is Magnus, seventh is Daniel Aish, technically, as he has not passed Okenhaug. But Robbie Larill is going to pick up right where he left off through qualifying. He will win heat number 1 in Iowa, and transferring will be Ray Kingsbury in the 25. As Schofield, Fleming, and it looks like Aish got by Forrest. Forrest nudges Aish and shoves the 33 out of the way.
As I think Forrest is a little bit unhappy with the initial start of the race, thinking he could have fought for that.
As we take a look at a replay, looks like Forrest cut down, good line. Just nudged him though. Aish ran a little bit wide in that hairpin, and that's all she wrote.
As I'm thinking, these starts are going to be kind of wild with everyone wanting to keep it nice and tight. It's going to be a little bit of argy-bargy going through that first corner.
As the results, just so I guess we know, is... Oh, that's the grid. Maybe I should read. Luke Krause, Jason Hook, Matt Kingsbury, Andrew Hall, Chris Wetch, James Watson, Justin Robichaux. 7 cars in this one, and it's another 6-lap, 1 joker affair. An inside pole had the advantage that last time around, so we'll see if Luke Krause can hold this advantage or if he'll get swallowed up by the rest of the cars on the grid. Green flag in Iowa. Off the line. Looks like Krause got a better start in the first phase. Hook is going to dive deep into turn 1, run it wide, lock it up, and Krause is going to hold the lead over the jump for the first time. Matt Kingsbury side by side with Howell as Watson and Wetz in the back of the field. Luke Krause loves this. Shoving Kingsbury out of the way was Howell. Krause is going to joker immediately. So does Kingsbury in the 21. Those are the only 2. Watson clips the curves on the inside through the chicane. And Luke Krause, this is exactly what he wants, Cody, running it wide as Howell in the 666. But Krause out and away now, and he can pull away and focus on that race lead.
Yeah, I think that was a smart move for Luke and Kingsbury, because now if you look back there, that middle pack is just a hornet's nest. So trying to get away, get some good clean laps here, and then you'll be able to check out. So this way, once these guys start making their jokers, they're going to be behind them.
As Matt Kingsbury, if we take a look, 1.4 seconds behind. As Hook is 12.5 behind the race leader. There is a hornet's nest, like you said. Robichaux jokers in the 93. This will put him into the 3rd spot. As Hook ahead of Wetz, and Howell is hounding Wetz in the 71. So honestly, it'll be interesting if Hook can get the gap that he needs to potentially steal this away. But knowing Luke Krause, he is a pro driver, does have the black stripe. We know how fast he is. I don't know what's going to happen here, as it looks like sliding through turns 1 and 2 is James Watson in the Beetle. Looks like he's got some damage there on the front of that car.
Looks like it.
As Krause, over the jump, I caught it out of the corner of my eye. He nearly crashed in turn 1. Maybe, hopefully, we can roll that back just to look. There he goes, over the jump. That's completely the wrong angle. Nice save for car number 1. But that would have been a very weird way to lose a race. Although I've lost a race in weirder ways, or nearly before.
Although, if you remember last week, he almost did the same thing and lost that race.
Exiting the Joker's Hook. He tried to sneak to the inside of Kingsbury, thought better of it. On the outside, he gets tagged by the 21 of Matt Kingsbury. Kingsbury's around. Hook is sliding. He saves it. And Kingsbury into the fence, and I suspect that left front suspension is going to be broken. I don't know what he was thinking there, honestly.
I think Matt was trying to get up behind Hook, but just kind of miscalculated the run and started coming up and just tagged him in that left rear.
So now, Kingsbury and Robichaux battling for 3rd. This means nothing for a transfer spot. It does mean something to grid up for the semifinal. So these guys are going to be a little bit argy-bargy, as Calvin Fish would say. Running it wide is Kingsbury. That left front's got to be broken. There's no way that he's going to be able to turn, and that's why he ran it wide. White flag for Luke Krause. Luke in 2nd.
Yeah, I'm saying, and then Jason Hook's in P2, and he looks like he's going to be clear because the only other Howell, Wetz, and Watson haven't jokered, and Howell's like 17 seconds back from the leader.
Howell, speaking of, drove it off the road and nearly into the abyss, but luckily there's an invisible wall breaking the 4th wall there.
But unfortunately, that car is obliterated now, so yeah.
Luke Krause, final corner, championship leader, defending champion, and gets another heat win. He wins Heat 2 here in Iowa, ahead of Jason Hook in the 137. Survived the barrage from Matt Kingsbury. Andrew Howell is smoking up a storm and making it to the line. So the 666 will finish this race. James Watson looks like he parked it in the 39. And that's our results for Heat 2. Krause, Hook, Wetz, Howell, Robichaux, Kingsbury, and Watson. As we grid up for Heat 3, 2020A champion Matt Hartley, Josh Clogg, Adam Thomas, Drake Burgoon, Bodie Cryer, Victor Aldrich, and Nathan Ramsey. Good mix of manufacturers today. And this one is a wide open bag. I don't know who's going to win this one.
Yeah, we're not. It all depends. You got to make through that first corner, and then it sets up on who takes a joker and who doesn't. So the beginning part of this track is a really nice layout on how it shakes everything up. I know it's not the most liked circuit on liked circuit on our schedule, but I think it does create some good racing, especially in the beginning.
As we get ready for our third and final heat race before the round of semifinals, green flag. Hartley and Clogg on the front row. These two are battling for a spot in the Constructors' Championship, second and third. Three wide, Cryer splits the middle with Burgoon and Thomas. And over the jump for the first time. Hartley, Clogg, Thomas, Cryer, Burgoon, Aldrich, Ramsey into turn one. Bodie Cryer really deep in the first corner. Jokering is Hartley. He is the only one to take to the joker. Honestly, if I was one of these guys in the back, I would have jokered to clear yourself from all this traffic.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Possibly like a Burgoon or a Cryer. Just one of those guys back there they're going to hold each other up. So if you let yourself free in the beginning, that would have saved you. Could possibly jump a couple cars to help you in going into the semi.
Inside, Cryer on Thomas. Can't get it done as it is a switchback in the second part of that corner. That's not really a passing opportunity either. We saw that a little bit earlier. Into turn one, 3 cars wide. Thomas, Burgoon, Cryer. Aldrich tried to take the fight, couldn't get it done. Jokering is Burgoon and Cryer. We know how quick Cryer is in the 05, the Endurance Cup champion from last season. Ramsey over, and another Subaru flips in the chicane. And he's still going. Chad, I need you to unmute for a second. What would he get? What medal would he get for that move?
I think he got a 6.4 for not sticking the landing from the German judge.
Alrighty, good. That car is torn to bits, but he's still going to try and finish this race. As Matt Hartley in the lead still, Burgoon in second, Cryer in third. As we're about halfway through this heat race here in Iowa.
As Burgoon is holding off Bodie Cryer. I have to give him credit being one of the newer drivers on the circuit.
Take a look here. Cryer, Clogg, Burgoon. This is the battle for the transfer. Blue flags for Ramsey. Stays out of the way. We're going to focus on this. Clogg is not jokered, so unless something goes wrong with Clogg, he's an easy insert back to the second spot, and I feel like he's probably going to... No!
He just jokered.
Okay, I didn't pay attention.
Ooh.
Burgoon over the curb in the 415. He gets nudged by Cryer in the 05, who then gets nudged by Clogg in the 199. I must not have been paying attention. On the outside goes Thomas to the transfer. Clogg gets nudged out of the way by Cryer. I feel like I missed something because I thought Clogg was miles away from the rest of the field, and everyone is in a hornet's nest for the transfer.
Yeah, as now with those two taking each other out a little bit, they fell back from this transfer battle with Burgoon and Thomas.
Everybody has jokered in this heat race. We have a lap and a half left to go. Ramsey's still trying to finish this race. He's about to get lapped by Hartley again in the 48. And Hartley has been on a tear. He had some issues on his championship defense. He was not really here for those last couple seasons, I don't believe. But if I recall correctly, he's been on the podium for a couple weeks now, and he's been showing pace. White flag for Hartley in the 48.
Yeah, he's been really finding his stride here lately. I think he's finding that sweet spot with these cars.
Will Ramsey get in the way of Thomas and Burgoon? We'll have to see through the chicane. Thomas has to back it up. He runs it wide. This might help Drake Burgoon get the transfer spot. Running it wide is Ramsey in the 29. Not missing anything up front, but I suspect we're going to have a dive bomb from Burgoon if he can make it stick. Final corner for Matt Hartley. Runs it wide, but it doesn't matter. He will win heat number 3 in Iowa. Burgoon's not going to get there. Thomas will transfer in the 625 ahead of Burgoon in the 415. What a attempt, I should say, for the sequential SimSport driver in his first season, if you want to correct me there.
Yes, it is.
As Aldrich, or Clogg, Cryer, Aldrich, Ramsey, the remaining running order. As really quickly, grid for the first semifinal. Schofield, Burgoon, Howell, Forrest, Cryer, Kingsbury, Fisher, and Ramsey. What's your thoughts about the first couple heat races?
Well, I think this will be interesting. We do have Schofield, who's been pretty quick. Howell and Forrest, unfortunately, had unfortunate luck that last one. Burgoon kind of surprised us there, but I think we saw in practice he's been a mid-pack car in practice all day. So, and then we have Bodie Cryer also, as he just popped up on grid. So I think we're gonna have some heavy hitters in this one, and they're all gonna be fighting to try to make that final.
So 8 laps as we get ready to go. And this track, like I mentioned in the opener, always produces a wonderful race. And we will discover who will be seeds 9, 10, and 11. My math is wrong. Ignore me. It's okay. Words are hard. Getting ready for semifinal A. Green flag. Burgoon misses the start compared to Schofield and Forrest down to turn 1. Very clean so far through the first corner. Cryer gets nudged by Howell over the jump for the first time. Forrest, a huge run off the corner, off the jump, side by side for a moment. He gets pushed out wide in the 44. Schofield gets pushed out wide as well. Burgoon sneaking near his teammate side by side. Cryer says, I'm going to take to the Joker, goodbye, and take advantage of this clear track. Following him is Howell in the 666. Schofield leads the brigade on the regular course. And, I'll let you talk about your team for a minute. Heart in the mouth moment for your teammates there.
Yeah, that was extremely close, and Matt Kingsbury right behind him too. He was trying to push the issue and force it up there. Thankfully, he backed out of it going into that tight chicane there. So, real tight moment is now they're battling right with Schofield here. As we're looking 3 wide into turn 1.
Forrest to the inside of Burgoon, makes it stick. Not missing anything up front. Howell takes his second Joker. Now, Schofield, Forrest, Matt Kingsbury, they will take their first bit of strategy. Cryer gets passed from Schofield. Remember, this is the first round of 2 Jokers.
Yeah, this is going to shake everything up. Cryer's around, stuffed in the tires.
In the 05. And I looked, he just locked it up. And that's so easy to do. And Cryer parks it in the 05 off track for our Endurance Cup champion from last season. So, according to this, Andrew Howell is still leading. Ian Fisher takes to the Joker. He should be finishing his second Joker in car number 51, so we will see how this will begin to transpire. Schofield, 8 seconds back, and I don't think he has taken his second Joker. You said the delta was about 7 seconds, so Schofield's got a decent amount of track to catch up here.
As I was looking a little bit, I think it's a bit more than we think. I think it's actually about 10 seconds, the way I've been doing the math here.
Fisher off the jump, put it into the tire barrier. And that's so easy to do over that jump. So the 51 out of second and spins it in the chicane. So if you want to go back up front, Kieran Forrest has just passed Andrew Howell on the Joker rotation. So Big Dog absolutely flying as we begin lap 5, cross flags in semifinal A. As our boy Big Dog went to the first 2 rounds of Nitro Rallycross. Took some great photos, part of the press team for some sort of publication, I do believe. So he got up close and personal with these cars. Jokering is Schofield in the 27, passes Forrest. And now Schofield back to the race lead.
Kingsbury's got 1 left Joker here, along with Burgoon hasn't taken any yet. So I wonder if that's a strategy. Just let everyone go by and then just start rattling off the Jokers here at the last 2 laps. Kind of like what we used to do.
I was just going to say that. I mean, there's some races, and we've talked about it, some races where you take your Joker early. We're not going to beat that dead horse. But in this instance, you run your own laps on the regular course and then surprise everybody. Hello, I'm here. I'm going to take your spot. That's happened to me numerous times from you, actually. And the roles have been reversed previously, of course.
And especially with this, where you get that massive run compared to the chicane. So if you hold it at least 1 to the last lap, and then you just smoke by everyone, and then you're also having the speed advantage going down that straightaway, we'll call it. It's still the actual oval part of the track, but you can kind of run it like a straightaway. So you get all that speed through that section, and then you're able to maybe pass another car.
So Burgoon has taken one of his Jokers. Kingsbury still has 1 left. So this is going to be a battle. Schofield, Forrest, Howell are done. Matt takes to the second Joker. Burgoon does not follow him, and Matt comes out in front of Andrew Howell. So put the man from Connecticut in the third spot, as we will take the white flag. Burgoon still has to take that final joker, so we'll see with the 415 where he's going to come out. But Schofield, through the first couple corners, Forrest, Kingsbury, Howell, and Burgoon just now going over the jump. Obviously, I don't think he's going to get the race win, but he might be good for a transfer spot. We'll have to keep an eye on it.
It's going to be really close. I think he may come up a hair short here as he's
He
going into the
will.
joker.
Not as fast as you would like to go through the joker. And David Schofield will come off the final chicane, and he will win semifinal A. He will seed in the 7th spot. 9th seed is Kieran Forrest, and 11th seed is Matt Kingsbury. Burgoon, oh so close in the 415. Howell, Fisher, Ramsey, Cryer, the remaining running order as we get ready for semifinal B.
As I have to give credit to Drake there. He did a really good job almost making it. I think he has made one other final so far this year. I think in Sonoma, I believe. The one that me and you missed. So, super competitive. For my team, at least, that's what we like to see. Improvement every week. And that was definitely improvement from the beginning of the season. From being initial rookie of the series to almost fighting his way into the final with some of our biggest heavy hitters of the series. As we are gridding up here for the second semifinal.
I had to make an emergency run to the kitchen to grab some stuff, and here I am. So, semifinal B, Chris Wetz, Parker Fleming, Josh Clogg, Justin Robichaux, Daniel Aish, Victor Aldrich, James Watson, Magnus Okenhaug. I forgot to breathe. Another 8-lap race, 2 jokers, and the final 3 seeds will be determined for the feature race here in Iowa. We already know Wetz's strategy, green flag. Clogg gets a great start compared to the front 2, but he's boxed in, running it wide as both of them, Fleming and Wetz, as that's Aish in the 33 over the jump for the first time. Clogg, Wetz, Aish, Fleming, Robichaux, Aldrich, Watson, contact between the teammates, and Okenhaug in the 26. Everybody running it wide. I think Magnus thought better of it. Contact in the joker between Aish and Robichaux. They tried to go side by side through the chicane, through the dirt. I haven't seen it before. Now we did, and we know what happens, and they are still crashing into one another.
Yeah, it's kind of started with Parker Fleming. He unfortunately boxed out Daniel Aish, that kind of shoved him wide, and then it just started the whole melee of each other hitting everyone.
As Clogg took that first joker, 11.3 seconds ahead of Wetz. We already know what Wetz is going to do here, Cody, so let's not even focus on him.
Yep.
Watson will joker. Aish takes his second bit of strategy, but we can take the 33 out of it after all those incidents between him and Robichaux. Aldrich in the 98 jokers as well. Fleming and Okenhaug battling here for third. I think this is going to be the real battle for the transfer spot, as I don't think they've taken any bit of strategy. Where is Wetz? Wetz has not jokered. I was just trying to pay attention and see if he had gotten passed up by a couple of guys. And if there's one person that you want to feel bad for, it's Justin Robichaux. As if I look at that replay really super fast as we pay attention to the feed still, he was on the inside or the outside. He got forced by Aish. So it was just Aish historically being over-aggressive and trying to take the opportunity when he can. Okenhaug cycles to second. Aish to the inside of the Norwegian. That will force Okenhaug to the joker, so we will put him further up through. He takes the lead, actually. Exiting the joker is Aldrich in the 98 as well, so we'll put Clogg to third.
As now Parker Fleming is taking his joker, so everyone but our notorious Chris Watson, who leaves it for the last 2 laps, has taken at least 1 joker so far.
As we take cross flags in semifinal B, Okenhaug, Aldrich, Clogg. This is not what I expected during this rotation of strategy. I can tell you that for sure. As Aldrich, with the Team Watson Racing boys, newer team, they don't have as many resources, I don't think, compared to like Spark LLM. Fleming jokers in the 434. He comes out behind Okenhaug. So this puts the 434 to second. But the pin to the grenade is being held by Chris Wetz. And he's got a couple laps left to take his jokers and potentially ruin this whole race.
Yeah, as the top three of Joker, Clog is just taking a second here. So that's
Clog
going to
will
jump
come
him
out
forward.
in the race lead.
So now Fleming is sitting in the final transfer spot with Okehaug being P2 at the moment.
And
So it's definitely going to
jokering.
wait for Wetz.
Watson has a joker left in 6th. Wetz has not. So Wetz is the only car on track that has not taken his jokers yet. So we will re-rack the running order. Clog, Okenhaug, Fleming, Aldrich, Aish, Watson, and Wetz. Robichaux in the 93 in 8th. Aldrich off screen. Now he's on screen. Spectacularly flipping in the 39. As Watson, those cars look very identical nearly. I'm probably blind though, it's okay. Okenhaug hits the wall, entering the final corner as we take another look at Watson rolling it. As we are on the white flag lap, and Josh Clog is leading. Wetz is just now taking the white flag. I don't think he's going to get a transfer spot either, and that is wishful thinking. It's going to be really hard, I think. Well, maybe I could be wrong. Clog exits the hairpin. Wetz is going to do it! Exactly what I thought! Final corner for Josh Clog, and I cannot believe I'm saying this, and I really hope you're watching this, Dylan Livingood, but Chris Wetz, he's going to transfer to the feature, boys and girls, in car number 71. Okenhaug comes home in 3rd. Fleming gets past Aldrich. Fleming will finish 13th. Actually, 14th, I apologize. 16th, Aldrich. 18th, Aish. 20th, Robichaux. 22nd is Watson. So we're going to bring in Mr. Chad Irvine. And I'm just going to step away for a few minutes before we get ready for this feature race.
You don't get no breaks, Josh. What are you doing?
Well, I was just thinking there, looking at it when we were talking about the Sportsman Cup
This is
earlier,
awesome!
I believe that should be a
I love
couple
Nitro
points
Circus.
gained on Andrew Howell for Parker Fleming there in the Sportsman Cup. So that he still had a better points day to help him possibly win that title.
Yeah, I mean, just the way that this has played out overall tonight, it's been some fantastic racing, and I mean, even that last heat with all the strategy, definitely interesting choice there by Wetz to wait, but man, it's been so much fun.
Yeah, this has been kind of what I was been hoping to seeing. Where this race, there's no clear-cut favorite. I think we have a couple guys that we think can win, and then I feel like there's a couple, like that next set of guys that, if anything goes wrong in turn 1 or during the entire race, that we've seen that it has happened almost every single race, that we could have an upset underdog win, which I think we would all love to see as well.
Yeah, we've already seen some unpredictable crashes, most notably the one last race in the Joker, where we haven't seen anybody try to take that too wide, and it kind of turns out that it's not the easiest thing to do.
No, it's that right hand. It's turn 1. Everyone's fighting to get to the turn 1 on the inside, but then that puts you on the outside if you're door to door with someone into the first turn on the actual course. So the left hand in the dirt. So it puts you in a bad situation, and as we saw Robichaux kind of learn, you don't want to be on the outside because everyone's going to shove wide.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, especially the ones that have been running up front all season long, they really know what they've got in the bag. They know what everybody else is going to do around them. Wetz is kind of the wild card. We saw him basically out of nowhere the last couple of weeks, just a newcomer to the series this year. So, him waiting on the strategy. Wow, that was, as Josh put it, that was the pin of the grenade, and he was holding on to it as long as he could.
I'm gonna jump in. You're such a noob. Chris Wetz is not a newcomer.
This season, isn't he? This is just his second appearance, right?
Yes, but
I know he's not
Cody,
new to the series overall.
24 seasons worth, Chad.
This season is what I said. Josh.
You win. It's okay.
For the season.
Go back to eating your Hot
cream.
Pockets or ice cream. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had some really good racing here. Like I said, not everyone's a fan of it, from what I've heard, but it puts on some really good racing, which you'd think that the track that no one really likes wouldn't, but it does, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, these guys all season long have put on a great show every week, and right now, I mean, just looking at some of the times coming across here in practice, Rivalry Real back to the top of the timing charts. So he's some of the faster guys. Luke Krause has yet to turn a lap here, as he's just kind of chilling in the pits, kind of taking his time to catch his breath. But a lot of the times that we've seen so far, we've seen some great racing. I can't wait for this feature where we have an extra couple of laps to still see how the strategy plays out for everybody.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely some craziness going through turn one. The initial corner, the right-hand corner off the start, and then into turn one of the actual course. And then just the decision of, do you joker, do you not? When do you want a joker? The joker here is going to be a massive advantage, I would say, especially with that nice long run like I was talking about earlier, where you get so much more speed going into that hairpin.
Yeah, definitely all that momentum. It makes it interesting for passing as well. We saw, I think it was either Matt or Ray Kingsbury in one of the heat races early on where you get so much momentum. You want to try to get to the inside to get the move done at the hairpin, but you really can't just because of where that joker rejoins the track and where the cars running the normal line are going to be. It really makes it interesting and difficult to try to kind of get around there on the outside. And that hairpin, we've seen a couple of incidents so far tonight, especially most notably, I think there was Big Dog, and then there was one with Matt Kingsbury as well in there.
Yeah, as you want to... The one with Kieran, he just was trying to roll the corner a bit more, had a little bit more center speed through the corner. So then when Aish kind of checked up there, I think it was Aish, when he checked up a bit more and parked it and tried to get the more straighter launch, Big Dog unfortunately just wasn't expecting that. Unfortunately, kind of bumped him in the back bumper and turned him. But hopefully we have some nice clean racing, but real hard racing.
Yeah, fortunately he was able to transfer through after all the contact that he was involved with. But we're set for a good feature here as these guys kind of just continue to tick on through. And that's the end of the warm-up here from the Cornfield Classic from DNF Auto Care. So let's send it back over to Josh Mertz in the booth, and we'll see what good things we have in store the rest of the way.
Yes, thank you, Chad. Hello, everyone. Welcome to round number 202 of the championship overall, the 6th round of the 24th season of the Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge, presented by Nitro Circus. Josh Mertz, Cody Erdmann, Chad Irvine for Nitro Circus Twitch, powered by the Automotive Sports Network. As we get ready for a 12-car, 10-lap final, our broadcast and race brought to you by Simracer Coin, the cryptocurrency made by Simracers for Simracers, and our 12 Simracers will race to own the winner's coin tonight. You can check out their mission, platform, and vision at simracercoin.org. Grid for the feature. Really quickly, the Real, Krause, Hartley, Kingsbury, Hook, Thomas, Schofield, Clog, Forest, Wetz, Kingsbury, Okenhaug. As we get ready to go racing in Iowa, I don't know what's going to happen. So we go green in Iowa, side by side, Larill and Krause down to turn one. Krause is on the outside now. Larill pushes way out wide and Krause to the lead. One car over. It's Hook in the 137. So the Australian not having a good start. Two around. It's Forrest with, that's Schofield, I think, in the 27. Let's see who will joker on the first opportunity. Krause does. Hartley does. Kingsbury, Ray that is, does. Clog. Two cars in the joker making contact. Okenhaug and Schofield, the teammates. One car out. It's Hook after he rolled it in turn number one. Leading the non-joker brigade, it looks like it was, I can't even tell to be perfectly honest, we'll forget about that, but Krause leads at the end of the first lap, doing exactly what he needs to do, Cody, but Hartley close behind.
As it looks like Robbie Larill is the one leading the no-joker brigade on through lap one, and then Kingsbury and Wetz would be the other two that follow behind him.
As looks like Hartley and Krause have taken their jokers. Strategies are out the window already. I don't know if I would have done that. but they know more than me. They're faster than me, so clearly they'll know a little bit more. Oakenhaug has completed his strategy. So has Big Dog. So top 4 are done with their strategy. Kingsbury, Clog, Schofield, according to this, have one Joker. Kingsbury does not. He takes to the Joker, exits the Joker, clips the wall, and he comes out in 3rd behind Hartley in the 48. Oakenhaug battling with Schofield. It looks like Schofield, I think, took to the Joker for his 2nd time. He did. As Thomas stays out of the way of Luke Krause. Thomas with some suspension damage. He was involved in that accident on the first lap of the race. Larill is not taken to the Joker, nor is Kingsbury or Wetz. I think, actually, did Wetz? No, Wetz did not. Of course he didn't.
As
Out wide as Thomas in the 625.
I think those 3 saw what Wetz did in that semifinal and were like, hey, let's try it. Jason Hook is way off. As Robbie Larillo was going by, now Hook's parked it for the night.
Hook rolled it, remember, on the start.
Correct.
In turn number 1. So effectively, we have 10 cars left in this feature race. As Thomas has suspension damage, he's still on track, but we don't suspect him to move any places. And Hook, unfortunately, caught up in that accident in turn 1. Last lap, Luke Krause 36.5, Hartley 37.7. Ray Kingsbury right on the rear wing of the former champion in car number 25 to the inside. Tried to. I don't think there was any room between those two through the hairpin.
I do not think so, no. Hartley ran a 37.7 that last time, so I don't know what's up with that with him.
As if Christian Rafos didn't win the first round of the championship, Luke Krause would be trying for 7 race wins in a row. I have never seen, in the history of the championship, someone's success come very quickly, because he won his first race on the last race of last season, and every other win was the last 4.
Yeah, he's been in pure domination fashion. As Ray Kingsbury looks up the inside, Hartley shuts the door on him.
Ray's going to try the outside, maybe try to sneak to the inside of the 48, nearly nudges him in the 25. If these two battle, Schofield's going to like this. We're not missing anything as Thomas finally parks it in the 625. I'm trying to pay attention. Clog took a Joker in the 199. I don't know if that was his first or his second. So the 199 in his own zip code. As he did take his first Joker. It was on lap 1. I really know how to read. It's going to be interesting to focus on Kingsbury, Wetz, and Larill. They still haven't taken their Jokers. To the inside, Hartley on Kingsbury. These guys battling to the death for the second spot. Kingsbury had a run on the outside, exiting the hairpin, but couldn't complete the pass, and now he's going to try again on the inside of Matt Hartley.
As this is actually, I think, going to hurt him with a couple of those guys that haven't taken the Joker yet. They're just reeling these guys in, so when they do take their 2
Hartley
Jokers, this Kingsbury gives them the chrome horn.
He locked up the rear wheels. The outside again goes Kingsbury. He has a much better run through the corner if he can get off the corner well. Side by side, we're going to pay attention from high above through turns 3 and 4 of the oval. Hairpin. Hartley holds it. Kingsbury completes the pass and moves to the second spot.
Oh,
Hartley really squirrely over the jump in the 48. This is going to open that battle to Schofield as he sneaks into the picture. But I have to, I'll let you talk in a minute. I just want to say that one thought. That makes sense. That now Larill has taken one of his Jokers. He is going to take his second one now. He's going to come out ahead of Kingsbury, so that battling did hurt them.
As I've been watching Hartley, I don't know what's going on. He's been locking up his tires like crazy. Like, rears are locking up, the fronts are locking up. Like, I don't know if he has a brake calibration problem or what's going on. It's just like everything's locking up every corner he goes into.
As Hartley trying to take now the third spot from Kingsbury, as Larill took to the Joker, and he is running his own race. We are on the white flag, believe it or not, boys and girls. And Luke Krause has ran a very quiet race, and he's going to come home 5 wins in a row for Luke Krause as he maintains his points lead, of course. Robbie Larill comes home in second. Kingsbury, where's the merge? Larill second, Kingsbury third. Clog does not sneak into the picture as 5th is Hartley, 6th Schofield, 7th Oakenhaug, 8th is Forest, 9th Kingsbury. What happened to Wetz in the 71? Did he not take both of them? He did. He comes home in 10th.
I think all the lap times are so fast that he did not gain as much as we think. He also had on lap 5, he did have a 39-second lap there, so I think that mistake right there is what hurt him.
As, of course, historically, we have to grab our top 3. Historically, Luke Krause doesn't like to get an interview, so wow. That's if you're everyone except Luke Krause, that was a crazy race. If you're Luke Krause, might be a little bit boring there in car number 1. What'd you think, Cody?
Yeah, it was super tight. Like from, I would say P3 was 9 seconds back from Luke there, and within like 5 seconds was all the way back to Chris Wetz, Kieran Forrest area where they're 14, 15 seconds back. So 5-6 seconds pretty much covered the entire rest of the field. So I think that taking that joker on the first lap and just setting sail, he was able to run some really, really fast lap times. I think that's what hurt Robbie, is him trying to get through the field was unfortunately not able to run the quick lap times every lap like Luke was out front.
As we're going to try and gather up our top 3, of course, for interviews. While we're doing that, I'm going to go over a couple actually programming notes, as we do have a week full of NASA action after a couple of weird weeks, and a full week last week of nothing going on. So Wednesday, the RK Designs NASA Championship Series at Barber Motorsports Park. Technically, I think it's Chad Irvine and Dylan Livingood supposed to be calling that race. That is Wednesday night.
As me and you were going to go bowling in IndyCars, I think.
I'm really going to go bowling. It's going to be a good time. And the Penguin RC Simulations NASA Sports Car Challenge also will be at Barber Wednesday, Thursday. Those races start, I'd say, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. As I'm going to see if we can grab. I don't know where they are. Well, here's Ray Kingsbury. We'll have a chat with our third place man while we wait for the other two if they decide to show up. Ray, obviously it's not a win. I would say if Luke Krause didn't exist, that would have been a crazy race for the win. But even then, how was that from your perspective?
Oh, I had a lot of fun with Matt there battling. I don't know how much of it you guys caught, but I don't think I've ever made a pass on the outside at a rallycross track, but we did today. That was fun. Robbie ended up pipping us because we battled so hard. I think we probably could have had P2. I think our pace was good. We didn't really do a lot of prep for this track, so I'm actually kind of shocked it went that well, but sometimes you get lucky, I guess.
As we mentioned right in the middle of that feature race that you guys were super, super close, super battling, which of course is cool, but it also hinders you. Talk me through actually the first time you tried to pass Hartley, couldn't get it done, and then you were able to get it done surprisingly in that final chicane. How'd that go?
Yeah, I had noticed a couple of times he was shallow on the braking there, and he was braking really early, so I figured I could gain a little bit. And he was also really weak off the hairpin, so I was just trying to get alongside him in the hairpin because I knew I could get him into the last corner. I didn't expect it to work so well on the outside, though, so that was a nice surprise. And he wasn't going to put me in the wall. I knew that because he had given me the room a couple laps before that, so that was really, really good driving. And our lap times actually didn't fall too much when we were battling. Probably because we weren't just bumping each other. We were actually having a clean race.
As Cody, you got anything for our third place man?
No, dude, that was a really impressive move. We did catch all that on our stream. That was probably one of the more impressive moves we had all night. And you just didn't do it through one corner. You did it through about 3 corners on the outside. So give credit to you and all your Spark guys and giving you a good piece underneath you to be able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, usually we come with something that we've tested. We haven't run here in a while, but David had a base setup that he uses at a lot of tracks, and I changed the differential up on it, and he qualified 4th on it, so it was definitely fast. My qualifying lap was botched, but we raced well, so that's all that matters.
As Chad, you got anything for our third place man? A very quick no. So I guess before we let you go. Any partners, anyone you'd like to thank for the result?
I mean, we always got to thank Spark, drivesbr.com. Check them out. They make great sim rigs. You certainly wouldn't be disappointed. KES Industries making adaptive equipment, I guess, for sim racing. They're focusing a lot on getting drivers with disabilities into the sim racing market. But they're also working on some new products that would be for everybody as well. So I'm excited for that. Mario does a great job. And thank you to SimRacer Coin, iDrive Sim Training, DGRX, all the guys over there who support the series as well in Australia. You know, they really are one of the reasons we keep this thing going. So
As Ray Kingsbury, your third place finisher here in Iowa, and now we're gonna have a chat with Robbie Larill. And Mr. Larill, you do all that practice at 3 a.m, and you were fastest in qualifying, won your heat race. Where did that race slip away from you?
I think I just got over nervous towards the end. I knew I had the times, and during practice, I have no problem running consistently. You know, almost to the lower numbers on that. But I don't know. I guess I just got nervous throughout the race.
As actually, Cody, I'll let you handle this one. I'm putting you on the spot.
No, that's fine. Actually, I have a couple thoughts. We noticed that you ran, at least in that final, you kind of kept your jokers till the end there. Was that something that you noticed, like what Wets did in that second semifinal, or was that kind of the game plan going into this?
No, I was kind of if Luke went to the Joker first, I would have took it. My first thought was to keep pressure on him, like stay behind him for basically the whole race and keep pressure on him. I think that would have maybe worked better because then I would have at least kept up my pace a little bit. I don't know. I wasn't keeping track of my pace, I guess, but it was last minute when I realized, oh, we got to take two jokers because I kept looking ahead of time just for the perfect time to take it. I was like, I'm nowhere near him, and then noticed that there's two jokers. So I'd hurry up and started taking them towards the end.
Yeah, as we saw that Chris Wets did in that B main, so I was wondering if a couple people saw that and was like, "Oh, that actually strategy kind of works there." So,
It
and
would have been a good idea if I would have stayed consistent with my pace, but I wasn't consistent enough.
yeah, and then thankfully, Kingsbury and Hartley, two of the guys who are trying to battle within the points, they were getting into it, so that helped you get around them. So
I got lucky that there are a couple cars that did pass. I didn't have to use the Joker right then and there to pass them.
we haven't really talked about with any of the drivers yet. What was it like going through that first initial start corner? Because we've seen it be absolute chaos in some of these races.
To be honest with you, I was terrified that I was going to get rear-ended from the back, which I got a little bump from Matt. I mean, it wasn't bad, but that was one of my biggest fears was that first turn, which surprisingly, both heats I left pretty clean.
Yeah, as I've been saying all night, it's not everyone's favorite track, but it seems to put on some really good racing for us. So, who'd you like to thank to get you on the second step of that podium?
I'd like to thank DNF Auto, DGR, my kids, and my old lady for trying to stay out my way through most of the race, but it happens. Not killing me. And I'd like to thank y'all, man. Like I said, I do it because I love y'all commentating.
Thank you. We can't wait to see you in the next round of the championship here.
Thank you.
So like I mentioned, historically, we're not going to have a chat with our race winner. He wins and sprays the champagne and disappears. I think we've only had one interview, and that was his championship interview.
Yep.
So I know we kind of got final thoughts before we got interviews, but I guess just recap our thoughts of the heat races, the semifinals, the feature, and I guess the remaining rounds of the championship. I mean, Luke Krause on fire. We know his speed. Is there anybody that's going to stop him?
I was thinking it was going to be Robbie, but unfortunately, he wasn't able to really give him a good fight like we're hoping for, at least. As Robbie said, I think kind of the pressure of him knowing that he did have a good chance kind of got to him a little bit. So I think if Robbie is more in that position as we go forward here into Phoenix in our next round in 2 weeks, that I think he may learn from this and try to have a better shot next time.
As I'll just echo everything that you said, and we know now we cannot do too wide in the Joker. So
Nope.
let's keep that in the archives. The next round for the Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge, October 25th, we will go to the Phoenix Raceway in Avondale, Arizona. That's the Phoenix Race for Nations, presented by iDrive Sim. You'll join, I think, Zach Johnson's going to be back for that one. Josh Mertz, Cody Erdmann in the commentary cube for that one. I'm trying to figure out if there's race names for any of these others. The Championship Series does not. So, Wednesday at the Barber Motorsports Park, the Arcade Designs NASA Championship Series, presented by Nitro Circus, will be back on track. You'll have Chad Irvine and Dylan Livingood in the commentary box, and you'll watch myself probably throw it off the track. I don't have my Oculus Rift anymore. We're racing on triples, so I won't crash into the wall and break my left rear suspension, so I'm excited for that one. And the Penguin RC Simulations NASA Sports Car Challenge, presented by Nitro Circus. The following day, also at the Barber Motorsports Park, you'll have Chad Irvine and Mike Berry. So what a race here in Iowa, and from all of us at North American Simulated Auto Racing, Nitro Circus, and the Automotive Sports Network, we thank you for joining us for this presentation of the Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge. Coverage today was brought to you by, Simracer Coin, the cryptocurrency made by Simracers for Simracers. And while our 22 Simracers race to own the winner's coin tonight, Luke Krause, once again, for the 5th consecutive time this season, came out on top. I'd also like to thank Majors Garage for powering our series, along with KES Industries, iDrive Sim Training, DNF Auto Care, and Ferris Shifters. From Chad Irvine, Cody Erdmann, I am Josh Mertz. We will hope to see you further this week for some more NASA action. But other than that, we will see you next Monday, 2 weeks from now, I apologize, in Phoenix. But until then, so long everyone.